Live from the IRC television studios on the SUNY Oneonta campus, this is New York Daily News. I'm Dan Hartner.
And I'm Christina Coyne. Today we are looking at the escape of two convicted murderers from the Clinton Correctional Facility in upstate New York. The two men have been described as extremely dangerous. Here's Dan with the story.
On June 6th, prisoners Richard, Matt, and David Sweat escaped from their adjoining cells through holes in the wall located behind their beds that were made with the help of power tools. The men filled their beds with clothes to make it look like they were sleeping, but during a morning check, their cells were found to be empty. David Sweat, of 35 years old, is serving a sentence of life without parole after he was convicted of first-degree murder for killing a sheriff's deputy in Broome County in New York on July 4th, 2002. Matt Richard, 49 years old, was serving a sentence of 25 years to life for the kidnapping, dismemberment, and the killing of his former boss in 1997.
Now investigators think the smooth-talking Matt turned the head of the 51-year-old industrial training supervisor who was his boss in the prison tailoring department. Governor Cuomo confirmed media reports Wednesday that investigators have been questioning a female civilian prison worker in connection with the daring escape, although he didn't identify Mitchell by name. Mitchell was supposed to rendezvous with Matt and the other escapee David Sweat on Saturday and be their getaway driver, but Mitchell got cold feet and left Sweat and Matt to fend for themselves while she checked into a hospital suffering from anxiety, according to CNN. Meanwhile, the search for Matt Sweat dragged on into the fifth day. Cuomo warned that they may have crossed into Vermont and could be hiding in one of the state's remote campgrounds.
Also involved was prisoner worker Joyce Mitchell. She was flattered by the attention she was getting from the two inmates and was more than happy to aid them. She actually used baked goods to earn favors for the two prisoners. It started off with allowing them to live in cells next to each other. Mitchell supposedly hid hacksaw blades in frozen hamburger meat and asked another prisoner guard to carry the meat to them. The other guard then bypassed the metal detectors and gave the meat to Matt Richard.
A second prison employee is being faced with charges over their escape. Overnight corrections officer Gene Palmer was seen leaving court in this video from a local station, out on bail after being charged with 2 counts of tampering with physical evidence, promoting prison contraband, and official misconduct. Apparently, he would take Matt or Sweat into the catwalks behind their cells. The 57-year-old was on paid sick leave before his arrest, allegedly delivering frozen hamburger meat to Matt with the tools inside on behalf of Joyce Mitchell. Officials say Palmer accepted gifts from Sweat and Matt. Those gifts included paintings like these in exchange for bringing contraband to the two inmates. He removed those from the facility, then at his residence he actually burned some of the paintings to avoid some of the investigators from locating them. They questioned Palmer for 14 hours, but he passed the polygraph test. He had no knowledge that these two individuals were plotting to escape.
The search included more than 250 officers from multiple agencies, as well as aircrafts and search dogs. Checkpoints and roadblocks were set up by armed law enforcement all around the upstate area near the prison. The manhunt lasted 3 weeks and ended with the arrest of Matt Richard, 2 days after his fellow inmate David Sweat was shot and killed in a confrontation with the law enforcement. They were suspected of breaking into many cabins in the region during this 3-week period while masking their trail with black pepper. Sweat was charged with escape, burglary, and other charges.
When we return, we'll share our inside story on how the prisoners were able to escape within just 20 minutes.
For illegally picking flowers in the Royal Botanic Gardens, I sentence you to life in prison. Sorry. I just had to get that.
We're back, and Emma Dunn has the information on the prisoner's escape. Emma?
Here we have the hole that was found in the back of the prisoner's jail cell. The two crawled through the holes and onto a walkway that was about 6 stories high, then shimmied down 4 floors to the prisoner's underground tunnel system. In just 9 minutes, they reached the 3rd and last cell block, leading them underneath the prison yard. Then they squeezed through a steam pipe, which led them to a manhole in the street. They were able to race to freedom in just 20 minutes. Back to you guys.
And that does it for us here at the New York Daily News. Check in with us next time to find out the latest news here in New York.